Gather round, those who cower in the shadow of giants. I've a tale for those who cannot yet weave their own. Wonder, adventure, and glory awaits. Rest your weary head, dear listener, as I regale you with my Bard Time stories. Bard Time Stories is proud to announce we've partnered with Roleplay Lead, an organization out of Denver, Colorado that helps tweens and teens with anxiety, depression, ADHD, autism, and self-confidence issues develop social and leadership skills through Dungeons & Dragons. Find out more during the break. When last we left off, after spending the night at the root garden outside of Lorvale, the party decided to hunt for the great white bear that had been terrorizing the countryside. After a few failed tracking spells and a great deal of walking, they came up empty. They did, however, find an older half-orc woman named Danaka along the road. Upon finding her, the party was also beset by large wolves, and Saxifrage was swallowed but spat back up in the battle. Danaka was saved by the party and divulged that she was in fact a lycanthrope, and she is the fabled great white bear. She informed the party that lycanthropes are immune to non-silvered, non-magical weapons, so they set back to Lorvale in search of better equipment so they could better help her. Some shopping around later, the party learned of more work available from the Twilight Reclaimers involving a fleeing merchant, and they obtained some equipment. Deciding to take a long rest in the Silver Merchant Tavern, the party decided it best to attempt to restrain Danaka in case she turned. It happened to be a good plan, as Danaka did in fact begin to change as the form of the Great White Bear began to take over. Luckily, she was restrained and eventually choked unconscious by Magnus and the rest of the party. Thankfully, Danaka remained asleep the remainder of the night, and we rejoined with the party now as they begin to set out from the tavern into the Moonwilds. As you lot are walking through Lorvale, you begin to notice, even this early in the morning, there's a lot of commotion happening. You surmise that the Red Festival is still in full swing, this now being day 4 of the festivities. As you begin approaching the kind of main thoroughfare of the city itself, you start to hear the cracking of wood and metal scraping of sword against sword before you can even see anything that's happening, but you do see crowds of people gathering, and you notice that the main thoroughfare itself is mostly blocked off, barricaded off, and you don't have access to that main thoroughfare. But you do notice, within those barricades, you take note of 2 men atop horses within that area. What are you laughing about?
Barricades. We're searching werebear. We got a werebear with us. It's barricades. I was laughing silently. You didn't gotta call me on it.
You think I'm just gonna stare across the table at somebody laughing and be okay with it? Like, I think you're laughing at me. Like,
no, it's barricades.
Okay.
With our bear friend.
So we're gonna toss our bear.
It's just a bunch of bears stacked on top of each other.
I mean, but the thing is, she's not actually a bear right now. She's just this old lady who's just trying to creak around this town.
She'll be fine. She'll adapt.
You notice one of the men atop the horses within the area is a man in gilded armor, and the closer you look at him, the more you recognize him as the Knight Captain of the Knights of Renai that you've met previously. Wearing that same ceremonial armor you saw him rushing off wearing several nights ago at this point. Strapped across his back again, you see that blackened blade that the knights are so proud of, part of the celebration of the Red Festival. Across from him, on the opposite end of this main thoroughfare, still barricaded off and blocked away from you, you see another humanoid atop a horse. Both of them now sporting lances, and you see them take off at each other. You see this other figure garbed in this red scale, leather and metal armor, from head to toe, completely covered in this red scale. As they rush off at each other, you see the crowd begin to throw up their arms and throw up some more of that celebratory red powder, cheering and screaming as they do so, until you hear the crack of the lances crashing against each body. You see the lance of the knight splinter against the chest of the one in the red armor. As he is almost pushed off his horse, he manages to stabilize, and they go to each end. Both of them kind of throw up their arms, getting the crowd more energized and amped up, screaming and hollering even more. They do another pass. This time, the man dressed as the dragon scores a hit against the Knight Captain. You see his lance just splinter and crack and send shards of it all over the place. The Knight Captain dramatically throws up his arms in defeat and kind of hangs his head on his horse as he passes by the crowd. The crowd then begins to chant, "Sable, Sable, Sable, Sable." And you can hear this just swell throughout the crowd and grow and grow and grow, until eventually the Knight Captain draws the black blade from his back. The sword glints in the morning sun, and the knight heroically charges the man in red, who you've seen now from the other side is just shooting these plumes of fire into the sky 30 feet up. The crowd falls into a silent suspense, some gasping, as the blade sings through the air, and in a flash, the red-scaled helm of the man representing the dragon goes flying into the air, and the body itself falls off the horse. The crowd around you erupts in cheer again, as the knight captain begins to dismount his horse and bow, and you see several city guards and fellow knights of Renai begin to remove the barricades from the area. You see some children rush up to the splintered bits of the lance wood and pick up souvenirs and put them in their pockets and rush away. You immediately notice the merchants of the area are fast to set up their different games and all of their wares and everything for sale. And go ahead and make a perception check.
Did that guy just die? 8.
You lose track of the body and the head as soon as the crowd start to rush in.
Savages.
Sacks of Rage looks at Brandon and it's like, most humans don't survive their heads coming off.
Unless you're a zombie. Wait, no.
That is true. Zombies keep going.
Well, not all zombies.
I don't understand the rules of that game. I mean, why were they pointing the sticks at each other?
For sport?
Oh, what's the sport? What do they win?
Apparently the lives.
Sacks of Rage turns to see if there are any nearby townspeople that they can ask questions of.
Sure, yeah, there's several of them as the crowd has begun to kind of disperse and, like I said, set up different merchant tents and everything. You're able to catch the attention of a human male.
Excuse me.
Yes, hello.
Did the person in the red armor just actually die? Or was that just pretend? Reenactors get weird sometimes.
You see his face immediately crack into a wide smile. You're not from around here, are you? And he points.
No, I'm from Bluewood.
He points across the crowd, and you can actually see. You can see a younger-looking Aarakocran boy gathering up the head that you'd seen fly off of the humanoid previously, stuff it into a bag, and then you see him go over to the body and begin piece by piece putting it into the bag, and you notice that what appeared to be a man in that armor was actually just a shell of armor.
Sort of like it was enchanted.
You would assume so, yeah, given the fact that it moved on its own, but there's no body inside this armor, as you see the young boy stuff it into a larger bag.
Sacks of Rage turns back to the townsmen. Thank you. I am not always sure when ritual sacrifice is appropriate or not.
I would say more often than not it's inappropriate, which is why we no longer use real people.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Did you use criminals? Or...
I'm not sure. It's been a while. And I think the last time a flesh and blood body was used as the dragon was many, many years ago. Maybe 50 to 60 years ago. It's been a long while. Ever since the Heartforge moved into town. They're the ones that made that for us, and they keep track of it every year.
Cool. So the only reason you stopped killing people for sport is because somebody made you a cool set of armor that moves?
That's more practical. I mean, isn't that how most businesses work out?
That workers, flesh and blood workers, are replaced by machinery? Yes. Or enchanted materials? Of course.
I don't fully know all the details of it, but...
Either way, it's good you're not using actual flesh and blood people.
Yes. I think many people would agree.
That would be quite a mess.
Well, then you'll be in great business.
No,
That is
no,
true.
she would not, because she's going to stop.
What?
Follow your dreams.
Continue your good work, Fixer.
I will.
Good.
Did you have any more questions, or can I go celebrate?
Yes, of course. I apologize for taking so much of your time. We just wanted to make sure that no one had been murdered.
Understand.
Have fun.
I'm sure if you were curious about the inner workings of it, you could go ask that young boy or somebody within the Heartforge. But I suggest for now, maybe enjoying yourselves. The Red Festival only comes once a year.
Saxifrage pulls out some red powder and throws it directly in the guy's face.
That's the spirit, at least.
Yes, that is my understanding. You may throw powder at me if you wish.
He just begins to walk off, and you see him go join in a game of what looks like a pretty simplistic ring toss game, 20 or 30 feet away from you.
Alright. Let's stop being distracted. We only got less than 12 hours before the sun goes down. So let's get going, guys.
I agree with Freya. Which way should we go first?
Saxifrage turns to Danaka and asks her, can you lead the way?
I don't know if we should let her lead the way or if we should use her as bait.
We can do both.
That's true.
You can have two things at the same time.
Danaka kind of looks up. You can tell she's still tired. You imagine that the impact that changing form like that has on especially an older, frailer body like hers is pretty great, but she looks up at you in Saxifrage and Freya. I know the way. I can take us straight there.
How long is the journey again?
About 8 hours.
That's a minute.
Yeah.
Well, that's 8 hours.
Let us go.
Hang on, I
Did you want to party with these savages first, or did you want to just go?
Aren't you from here?
No.
Where are you from?
A little smaller logging village further north. I don't even know if it has a proper name. Very small community.
Guys, could you all meet me outside of the walls? Outside of the town? Just wait there for me for like a minute. I forgot something.
You were literally just saying...
I forgot something.
You were literally just saying that we needed to leave.
Do you need a friend to go with you?
No. I'll be fine.
Danaka begins to kind of hobble off through the crowd using her cane to...
I follow Danaka, and Saxifrage turns back to Freya and goes, I make no promises. We will wait 30 minutes and no more.
It won't take me 30
I make promises. I'll wait for you.
Magnus,
I will leave you behind.
what are you doing?
You're Magnus.
You're right. Freya, what are you doing?
I just forgot something back at the...
I'm gonna try to follow Freya without her knowledge.
Oh my
Okay. Sure. So does the rest of the party follow Saxifrage and Danaka out of the city?
Yes.
Okay. You guys notice even more of these merchants that begin setting up different games and things to do within this main thoroughfare. Some ring toss games here and there, a basic cup and ball game, you see a few of them. You actually notice that the Pursuit of the Hawk themselves are setting up an archery game, and it appears that the prize for which is a small caged bird. Danaka pays them no mind and continues walking out of the city.
It
Eventually...
is taking all of Mia's willpower not to go play these games.
Yeah, Danaka is just... She makes it to the gates and exits them as the Elven guards open the large wooden gates for you guys. They give you a curt nod. So, Freya, where are you going?
I'm going back to the inn.
Okay.
I'm going upstairs.
Okay.
I don't want to say anything if she can't fall.
Okay, sure. Well, go ahead and roll a stealth check. Are you watching if you're being followed, or are you...
Not really.
Okay, so we'll use your passive perception, which is 11.
7.
Okay. So you do notice... After a while, you notice the 2-foot-tall form of Magnus trailing behind you. Some of the kind of clattering armor gives it away just a bit.
Magnus, what are you doing?
You were being suspicious?
Don't worry about it, just...
What do you mean don't worry about it? You were being suspicious.
I just forgot something. I know if I say what it is, you're all gonna be mad.
Is it alcohol?
It might be a little bit of alcohol. Actually, it might be a barrel of alcohol.
You're gonna take a whole barrel with
I
us.
bought a whole barrel. I'm not gonna let it go to waste.
Just put it here. Tell her to store it for you or something. I don't know. You're gonna take a whole barrel.
It's a long walk.
I shove it in the, Are we at the end now?
We're at the end. I'm gonna tie it around myself.
I shove it into the,
No, give me back my barrel.
Freya, are you serious? You're just gonna hold this on your back?
Yeah?
And what if I need a ride?
Out of character. Magnus has a bag of holding.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He knows.
She doesn't care, yeah.
Yeah.
This is my barrel? My alcohol? It's my burden to carry? And look, you can sit right on top of it.
Fine, you said it. That's what I'm gonna do. I climb on top of the barrel on top of Freya's back just to be as much of a burden as possible. And I take a couple of really heavy things out of the bag of holding, specifically to make myself heavier. And I just hold them.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know what heavy things you have in there, I guess, but...
How are you bringing an horse? I tip over to toss her off.
I hang on.
Yeah, Mom.
Well, move on. No, move
Stop
on.
wagging. Get off!
You start shaking, trying to shake Magnus off.
Magnus, you're being an horse.
Yeah? So what are you?
I'm carrying my burdens. You're not.
I'm your burden.
You are now.
Always have been.
Always will.
Then move on.
I'm just gonna walk through the street just like... and
Catching
At this point, it's just like riding a bull.
many a suspicious glance. As you do so, the patrons of the festivities shoot you an awkward glance as you walk by.
what are
trying to
you looking at?
Don't worry about it.
As soon as you say that, many of them avert their gaze. Some of them kind of point and laugh, especially some of the children point up at the Mousefolk atop your barrel and laugh, and a couple of walk up to you, Freya. Can I have a ride? That looks so fun. Can I join?
Are you hungry?
Yeah, absolutely. And I try to
No.
like hold on and like pull children up.
I smack her hands. His hands. Boom. Stop
I
it.
smack you.
I gotta ask, how long has it been that Sacks of Rage and
It's been probably about 10 minutes by now.
Cool. Just checking, because I do fully
You want to
intend to
take-
leave after 30 minutes.
You want to take the kids to the weather bears?
Yeah.
Yeah, take us there!
You'll be eaten up.
Woo!
Yeah, Freya. Woo!
I'll bite your heads off.
You have 3 children just kind of holding onto the rope tying a bit. You're
You've
just
made your bed.
trudging through the rest of the city. As you begin to approach the gates, the kids drop off and begin to rush off back into the festival. So you're just left with Magnus atop your barrel.
Fun thing, children. Kick her in the shins before you go.
You better not. I will kick them back.
I'll
The
kick
way
you
they
back.
say goodbye in Freya's family, so, culture.
They do not. They don't attempt to kick you in the shins. They run off back into the crowd. You lose track of them after a while. The guards kind of give you a stern look.
Mind your own.
What are you looking at?
You paid for that.
Yeah, of course I did. Think I
She
just
made
stole
her
it and
choices.
just strutting it around?
It's none of my business.
Right.
Go ahead. Have a blessed red festival.
You too.
They open up the gate and allow you guys to leave. At this point, it's been closer to around 20 minutes for Sacks of Rage and the rest of you guys. But if you're still sticking around, which Danaka is very impatient at this point, you see the gates creak open and Freya still kind of bucking and turning and twisting with Magnus atop the barrel. You see them emerge from the gates.
Are you for real?
What?
Couldn't be any realer.
Danaka, I am very sorry.
Is she gonna bring that the whole way?
Of course I am.
Why would you leave me behind?
I will leave you behind. I just start walking off. Like,
I would never leave you behind, Magnus. Do you need a new ride since apparently Freya has a new friend?
No, Freya has made her bed. She'll lie in it.
Okay, but that doesn't explain why you have a ride and don't have a ride.
Nearly, I have a ride. I'm trying to prove a point to Freya.
Gotcha.
She's losing. I ain't dropping it.
Danaka just lets out a long, exasperated sigh.
But what if somebody tries to steal it while I'm gone?
I'm gonna die.
Probably.
Well, let's all die together at least.
Do you need something to drink?
Maybe. And you guys begin to make your way out, following Danaka, into the Moonwilds. After maybe an hour or so of walking along the roads around the city, Danaka begins to veer off and leads you guys directly into the thickets of the Moonwilds. Eventually, the cobblestone roads and dirt pathways fade from sight, and you find yourself relying solely on Danaka's sense of direction through this. Pretty surprisingly of a brisk pace for such an older, frailer-looking woman, but she is keeping up a good pace, and she's leading you guys through. Freya, I'll go ahead and have you make a Constitution check. No, we'll call it strength. Call it a strength check. As you're kind of wrestling 18. This 18. Okay. As you're wrestling this barrel through the kind of denser woods of the Moonwilds, with Magnus still on your back, twisting and pushing through. It's tough, but you're able to do it. Magnus, you have had much more comfortable rides before, but Freya seems stubborn and stuck in her ways.
Same.
What an image.
So mile after mile you've walked now, you start to notice the woods around you begin to shift and change. What once was clusters of massive trees begins to kind of give way to rolling hills and the occasional cliff. The denser underbrush gives way to just kind of plains and stretches of just grassland. Not entirely, there's still a lot of trees around and a lot of rocks and outcroppings and things like that, but you do notice the terrain begin to shift just a little bit. It becomes a little bit easier for Freya to push her way through with this. Saxifrage, you notice you are moving much slower than you're typically used to, with Freya dragging more weight like this around.
I should ask though, is Danaka moving at about like the best pace that she can?
She go make, I guess, an insight check, we'll call it. Unless you're asking her directly.
18. I'm not gonna ask directly.
Okay. Yeah, taking a look at her, you think she could probably move a bit faster, and she seems a bit annoyed, kind of constantly looking back to make sure Freya and the rest of you guys are keeping up. Something about this area seems to be more in her nature. In the city, she moved slower and utilized the cane, but now she's all but running essentially throughout the rest of this. She seems more at home within this area, and she's moving pretty quickly.
Saxifrage increases their pace, and to where they think that Danaka can comfortably manage, and just kind of assumes the rest of the party's going to keep up.
Okay. Yeah, after a while, Freya and Magnus atop that barrel are not left in the dust per se, but you are lagging behind. You're having a little bit more trouble keeping track of where Saxifrage and Danaka are. As far as the rest of the party, I'm not sure.
Saxifrage looks back and sees them lagging behind and goes, "Would you like help with that?"
Yeah, get this little seed off my back.
No, I was not talking about Magnus. I was talking about the barrel.
No, just get the Magnus off my back.
No.
See, Freya, these are the people of Constitution.
I don't know what that word means, but I did offer to help Magnus, and he said he couldn't because you made your bed this Otherwise, I would be happy to give him a ride.
Is there a hill anywhere?
There's a few. They're a bit out of the way. You're kind of in a more flatter area right now.
Hang on, I'm gonna go scout ahead. Real fast.
Couldn't do anything real fast right now.
So, I climb up the hill, and they're like, Magnus, do you see that?
Everything the light touches is mine.
I try to sneakily untie the barrel off me.
Make a sleight of hand check. I'll compare this to Magnus's passive perception as well.
18.
Which I think your passive is 16. So you managed to untie the thing you presume without Magnus noticing.
So yeah, I'm gonna let the barrel roll with Magnus on it.
I'm gonna try to latch onto her shoulders instead.
Okay. Great. Make a dexterity check.
20.
That's when I just flop on the ground and start rolling down the hill.
I accept this.
Okay.
Look who made her bed now!
So the two of you begin rolling and rolling down this hill.
You're monster!
The barrel itself begins picking up speed, and you see it kind of launching off of some rocks, battering and bashing it all the way down. cracking and splintering in a lot of ways, until eventually it launches off of a rock and smacks into another one, and stays there, seemingly lodged against a more craggy outcropping. And you can see your liquor begin to drain out of the backside of it.
Alright, once we hit the bottom of the hill, I'm gonna stand up, grab a cup, and run.
You managed,
Still your choice.
you managed to get some, and you guys notice that you're in an area that is much flatter, almost as far as you can see. It kind of leads to certain areas that are more dense with trees, but this area that you're in now is just a flat grasslands.
I catch up to the rest of the party in this instance, too.
And you guys notice that there's certain patches of this grass that are kind of, they look like they've been dug up or tilled up in some way. Just certain patches of scattered clumps of dirt and mud kind of overturned, as though they were blasted with cannon fire or magical explosions or something. Just something that just kind of left these darker, dirt, muddy imprints all along the grassland.
Danaka, what are those marks on the ground?
You know, I'm not really sure. I've never been over this way. Usually we go around that hill, but...
Magnus picks up a rock and throws it, trying to land it on one of them.
Sure. It rolls and comes to a stop.
Seems fine to me. And marches on.
Okay.
Saxifrage asks Danaka, why do you normally go around this hill?
It's a little bit faster to go that way, but we're already down here. It's pretty comparable, but we don't really come through this field usually.
Okay.
So as you guys are walking on, and you pass a few of these kind of cratered imprints within the grassland, and yeah, you can see it looks like the ground underneath it has been removed or displaced in such a way that they are kind of these craters underneath everything. Is Saxifrage still in the lead behind Danaka?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me, please. And the rest of you guys can do it as well.
23.
Wow.
Oh no.
Nat 20.
Wow.
23?
Okay.
Which altogether, by the way, is 26.
Alright.
Perceptive.
12.
12.
6.
Okay.
You're
So-
still getting your alcohol.
On your bearings, because you're presumably very dizzy.
So, Magnus, Saxifrage, and Mialee, as soon as everything quiets down, you start to hear a very faint kind of clicking, chittering sound, as well as some scraping, but only when everything is very, very quiet. And it seems to be coming almost all around you. It's hard to pinpoint exactly where it's coming from. It's kind of one of those sounds that every time you hear it feels like it's from a different area.
Does it sound like some kind of insect noise? Can I do a nature check to see if it's any kind of animal I know?
It almost sounds like an insect burrowing into something.
Yeah. Okay.
But Freya and Laverra and Danaka do not seem to take notice of it as much as you guys.
It's suspicious.
It is probably just insects. It reminds me of some of the sounds I have heard before in the forest.
Insects where?
The grasses.
I look around the grounds and see the piles of dirt, and I put my ear to the ground.
You put your ear to the ground.
Yeah.
You hear more intensely as you do that.
We must walk without pattern to avoid the sandworms.
What are you guys doing? Are you worried about insects?
As soon as Freya says that and sees Magnus on the ground, listening for this, there's almost an eruption of the dirt and grass around you guys as 4 distinct creatures begin to emerge from underground. These large, bug-like creatures, almost praying mantis-like in their form, except for their kind of dark brown and light brown patterning. Hard exoskeletons and giant mandibles dripping with a noxious green slime. They erupt from underfoot, and Laverra and Freya, I need you guys to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please, as these kind of erupt almost directly from underfoot.
That is a 6.
21?
Who are you telling you're dying?
Yes. Be that way.
Listen.
Okay. So Laverra, despite not hearing the sound beforehand, as these things kind of rumble and shake from underfoot, you're able to get just enough warning to jump to the side as this thing bursts up through the ground. Freya, you're still a little tipsy and a little dizzy as this thing emerges from underfoot and you are knocked prone. And now I need you guys to roll initiative. Freya, what'd you get?
17.
17. Laverra?
23.
Okay. Magnus?
16.
Ooh. Mialee?
9.
Okay. And Zaxifrage?
Nat 20 with a total of 21.
Okay. So first up, that's actually going to put us at Laverra and Zaxifrage. What do you guys want to do? Laverra, one of them just emerged right from underneath you. Zaxifrage, the one that popped up near you, is maybe about 10 feet away. You were able to kind of keep your distance away from it as it popped up from the ground. And as you guys look around, you notice a count of 4 of them in total. You see Freya has been knocked to the ground by this creature erupting from it, and you can see now that these craters and marks all along the grassland seem to have been caused by these creatures in the past, as it overturns a lot of the grass and dirt around you.
Do they seem distinctly aggressive?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool. And how far away am I from Freya?
From Freya, you're probably about 15, 20 feet.
Okay, I've got a bug in between him and her.
Yeah,
So-
well, you would have 2 in between you and her.
Okay, 2 in between. Alright,
Yeah,
then
because
I'm
she's
gonna...
still got 1 bearing down on her.
Okay, in that case, I'll just... Let's see. Is there anyone immediately next to me in the party?
Yeah, I mean, everyone is within 30 feet.
Okay.
Including Danaka.
Alright.
She is also knocked prone by the one that erupts underfoot her.
I'm just gonna cast Flame Blade, I think.
Okay.
And see, that's 1 bonus action, so I'm gonna use my action to do a melee spell attack with it.
Okay.
So,
Armor class for these guys is 14. What do you want to do, Laverra?
I want to cast Cause Fear,
Okay.
and that is a saving throw from the creature. It's a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Ooh, how wise are these bugs?
Not very. That's a 5.
That does not save. So, the one in front of me is the one that I cast it on. It is now scared of me and cannot come towards me.
So what does that spell look like as you cast it?
As I cast it, the kind of like fear that the bug creature sees is, as you explained in the last episode, the kind of demon creature kind of like engulfing me.
Okay. Your, not quite pet, but your companion kind of flares up behind you, engulfing you in this shadow and this dark radiance as it pushes outward, and you see the giant mantis-like creature kind of look at you and cock its head to the side a little bit, and you think that the spell has fully taken hold of it.
My attack with the Flame Blade did hit, and that was for a total of 10 damage.
Okay. As the flame blade is summoned in your warforged hand, you take a slash at the mantis-like creature closest to you, and you see it arcs across its carapace and just erupts in this bloody flame as it kind of bursts out of the creature. Anything else from you guys?
I think that's all I can do.
Okay. That will bring us to 2 of these creatures. The first of which is going to look down at Freya, its mandibles kind of clacking, its large mantis-like appendages kind of dancing around you. You see this bile build up within its mandibles, and it kind of rears back and unleashes this acid spray. It is in a 30-foot long, 5-foot wide spray, so that's actually going to catch you and Magnus. You have to make dexterity saving throws for me.
Can I even do that?
You would make it a disadvantage because you're prone.
2 20s in a row. Here we go. 2.
And Magnus?
18.
Magnus, you succeed. So you will take half damage. Freya, you're taking full. Freya, you take 12 acid damage, and Magnus, you'll take 6. The other one is going to make its attack at Saxifrage, since it is that one. It misses. Okay. Now Freya, Magnus, and Mialee, you guys are up.
Alright, I stand right up. pull out my mole. Mole.
You're gonna
Pull out a mole.
You're gonna go bug smashing.
Yeah.
All right, go for it. Armor class 14, like I said. And Magnus and Mialee, what do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna go bug smashing on the same bug.
Okay. So this is the same one that kind of spit up on you guys.
Yeah.
While they're doing that, I would like to cast Word of Radiance on the one nearest to me.
Okay.
So he needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
All right, that is a total of 8. So I think that's a failure.
Totally a failure.
All right, so what happens to it?
Not a lot. He takes 1d6 and I roll a 1 of radiant damage.
Okay. What is this spell? Just so I can double check on it.
Word of Radiance.
Because that sounds really low. It is. You are 5th level though, so the damage is 2d6 technically.
So he takes 6 total.
Okay.
Buggo takes 23 damage from me between a strike and a shield bash.
Okay.
Oh, nice. It takes 10 for me for just a dash.
So that's 33 total.
Heck yeah, it is.
Dang. That is actually enough. So with that, the one that spewed up this acidic bile upon both of you guys, Magnus, you kind of roll to the side, stand up, and rush at it, swinging your sword and bashing into it with your shield. As Freya stands up and comes down on it with the maul. Together, you're able to cut open its carapace in just certain ways and smash it. Freya, your hammer blows the last thing that just compresses its head onto its body, just sending this green gore across the ground in a splat.
I try to strike a pose with Freya before using my movement to get to another bug.
Alright.
I'll strike a pose.
Perfect. Is that it from everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm good.
Alright, that'll bring us to the next. Would be 2, but it's just the one. And this is the one that Laverra has made afraid. So it moves away from her, moving over to Danaka that you see is still prone behind it, and it is going to make its bite attack against Danaka. Oof, that definitely hits. So you see Danaka get picked up by this creature in its large mandibles, kind of crushing her just a bit. And you can see that same acidic bile that one of them spewed up upon you guys earlier begin building up, and as it does, it burns into Danaka's skin, and it now has her raised up in its grasp. That is going to bring us to her. She's going to try and escape. That's all she can really do. That is a natural 1. She failed. That'll bring us back around to Laverra and Saxifrage. Does the creature make a save at the end of its turn? From your fear?
Let's find out.
I feel like that's the thing it does.
The frightened target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns.
Okay. That's a 7, so it's still a failure. It is still afraid of you.
Yes.
Okay, as long as you concentrate on the spell, or...
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, Laverra and Sax, what do you guys want to do?
I would like to go and try and help Danaka, but I don't know if I actually can. There's the bug still
There's
in
the
front of me.
ones right in front of you that you
Yes, the two.
slashed.
Right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I might have to let the others deal with it first. How far away is the one that has Danaka from me?
Probably about 20 feet,
Cool.
let's say. Hard to get an exact measurement without a map, but...
Gonna throw a fireball at the one that is holding Danaka.
Fireball?
Well, produce flame. I'm gonna
Okay.
make a flame in my hand
And throw it.
and throw it.
Okay.
So
So
I know
that's-
fireball is not the right word, but I don't know what else to call it. It's a ranged spell attack.
Yes, go
So,
ahead and roll that.
oh boy. I'm sorry, Danaka. That's an 11, so that does not hit because I
does
have a
not.
14
No.
armor class, right?
No.
Okay, and then as
So you throw this ball of produced flame, trying to throw it past your current assailant to help Danaka, but it just isn't able to get there. It kind of fizzles out in the air before it lands.
okay. Well, as my bonus action, I am going to cast Spirit Totem
Okay.
and do Bear Spirit, so everyone gains plus 10 temporary hit points.
Good to know.
So hopefully Danaka doesn't totally die before we get it to her.
Yeah. Alright, Laverra, what do you want to do?
I am going to cast Silent Image
Okay.
over by the mantis creature that has Danaka, and that I'm gonna make it the image that I'm projecting over in that area is of me,
Okay.
if that would work with the Cossphere.
Oh, hold up. That is also a concentration.
Okay.
So that would end your concentration on the fear. If you did that. You can only have one concentration up at a time.
Alright. I'm gonna end my concentration on the Cossphere and just cast the silent image.
Okay, are you going to change the image then? Because it wouldn't be afraid of you if you just put yourself over there. Unless you were going for something different.
Yeah, it's still gonna be an image of me.
Okay.
To kind of like confuse it.
Sure. So yeah, you shift its attention over in that direction and display a silent version of yourself over there. It eyes it suspiciously. Its head kind of clears and shakes from the fear as you do cast that spell. But we'll see what lingering effects that has. Alright, is that it from both you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That will bring us to those creatures. I think I lost track of where these ones are. There's one on Saxifrage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There was another one. There were like two in between me.
They killed that one.
Oh, they killed that one. So there's just one.
And then there's another one that has Danaka that is now confused.
But then...
So where was the other one?
Yeah, where's the third one?
I feel like you never actually gave that one a turn.
Huh. Alright. The first one then here is going to do its acid spray. Again, as you see this green liquid build up between its mandibles, it's going to spit up on you, Saxifrage.
Gross.
I don't think there's anyone behind you.
I don't believe so.
So it would just be you in this line. You need to make a dexterity saving throw for me. And this other one, where is it?
It's an 18 on that dexterity.
18, so that's a success. You'll take half. So you'll take 6 acid damage. This other one then is going to go up to Freya and Magnus then.
Don't forget about your 10 temporary hit points.
It is going to kind of leer down and make a bite attack against Freya. Well, just as well. That's a 7 to hit, and that's a miss then. So that'll bring us to Freya, Magnus, and Mialee.
So when it tries to bite, can I just grab its head and just bash my head into it?
Sure. Sure. I'll call that an unarmed strike, which I think you have listed on your sheet. So.
Am I close enough to want to hit with my mace?
Yeah, sure. I don't see why not. Well, you can at least get close to one, so yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get close to the closest one I can and bop it with my...
Alright. Armor class is 14.
So I rolled a 22, and I did 8 damage. Then I'm gonna attack again with my...
With your maul? Alright. And then Magnus.
I'm gonna do a whack.
Okay. Just a
My
regular.
bop was a 17 on die, so he takes 9 damage.
Perfect. Freya and Magnus, you see rushing up behind this insect creature is Mialee with her mace at the ready and just bashes it. Gets a solid hit in. You can see the creature kind of rear back and recoil from the pain of it.
Probably just going, stop it!
You had another attack, Freya?
Yeah. So I say, bite me, why don't ya? And then I bring my hammer up and slam it, doing another 10 damage.
10 damage.
I do 33 damage total between 2 slashes and a shield bash.
Okay. So yeah, essentially you guys working together, you're able to completely eviscerate this one. That hammer smash cracks its exoskeleton on the top of its head as Magnus just carves along the belly of the creature. Mialee, you're also there. And he's smacked into the backside of it, kind of exposing some of this as the bits of gore and viscera that kind of pours out of this larger creature begins to spill onto the ground and it falls underneath you guys. So you're down to the one that is confused with Danaka and the one in front of Saxifrage. It is that one's turn. So it cannot determine the difference between you and that illusion. So it's actually going to rush off in that direction, still gripping Danaka in its mouth, and it's going to spew out this acid spray at your illusion and, by proxy, Danaka within its own mouth. So she's going to immediately take the full damage from that. And your illusion, you just see this line of green acid spittle fly through the illusory form, and it seems to take notice that didn't quite do anything. But it is not a smart creature. As it sprays that out, you see Danaka kind of fly out of its mouth, spit up at the same time as this acid. So she would be no longer grappled by it, though she does take Good job with the temporary hit points. She took 10 acid damage. So even being brought over in that direction, further away from you guys as she spit up and thrown across the ground. She's still looking no worse off than she was before.
Yay! Good job, Bear.
And it is now her turn. So you see her kind of hobble up to her feet, and with an outstretched hand, you see a bit of fire form in it. She launches up a firebolt at the creature there.
What? She can do magic?
That is a hit. Not a lot of damage, but you see the firebolt smash into the creature's face and kind of leave this smoldering mass behind. Danaka is going to try and rush off to join back with you guys, which will give the insect creature an attack of opportunity, which it misses. Alright, Laverra and Sax, you guys are up. So now you're unsure if this creature knows much about your illusion, but it did try to attack it.
Cool. I'm gonna smack it with my flame blade.
Okay.
The one directly in front of me.
Sure, that's still around.
Okay, that's definitely a hit. That's 17 on die.
I have a question.
Okay.
So how much room does the creature take up?
It is a large creature, so like 5 to 10 feet,
Alright.
somewhere in there.
So I'm gonna cast the cantrip Create Bonfire
Okay,
underneath the creature.
sure. The one that you've been kind of focused on?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they must succeed on a dexterity saving.
Alright, that is a 3 total.
That does not save.
I didn't think so. And Saxifrage, what was your damage?
13.
13 damage. Nice. You see the one in front of you is now gravely injured as you're just carving large chunks of it off with your flame blade. It's still alive, but barely.
The creature that I'm focusing on takes 9 damage.
9 damage, alright. Not bad. So you see it kind of distracted by the firebolt across its face. You're able to summon up a bonfire from underneath it. You hear as part of its underside begins to kind of cook and blister from the intense heat for just a moment.
Cool. Good times.
Now we just need the marshmallows.
Is that it from you two?
Yep.
Alright, there's still the one in front of Sax. It's going to try and bite you. That is a 13, which is a miss. So that ends it's going to try actually to begin to burrow. So you see, as soon as it's done biting at you, it's going to try and use its movement to move underneath, which means it's moving away from you. You'll get an attack of opportunity.
Ooh, I will definitely take advantage of that. I'm going to attack with the flame blade again.
Yep.
So that's 17 on die. That hits.
That'll hit.
11 damage.
11 damage. So as you carve just another chunk of it off as it begins to burrow underneath you, it gets 10 feet underground and away from you. And it's leaving this kind of snail trail of its own blood and just bits of it that it's had to leave behind to kind of be able to accomplish this.
And stay in your room.
Freya, Magnus, and Mialee. You see the one that kind of burrows underneath, back into the underground, and the one that is having a hard time with fire. What do you guys want to do?
I mean, if he's having a hard time with fire, we should put him out of his misery, right?
He's within range, so yeah,
Nice.
go ahead.
It's not 20. He did.
Okay, you might be. Did you want to draw a card?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we are using the Game Master's Toolbox, critical hit deck for players and critical hit deck for GMs. So we'll see
Magnus
what happens.
has gotten the ability of Sweep the Leg. So the creature takes maximum damage, and the target must make a DC 12 Dex saving throw. On fail, it is knocked prone.
Take us for a bug would be like
Also, that is 14 damage for max.
14 damage, and as you carve across the lower portion of this creature, kind of lifting it up and knocking it onto its back, it completely failed to save.
Nice.
So it is now prone. Are you attacking? Because if you attack again, you'll have advantage now.
Oh, in which case, cool. I'm just gonna do it with my shield bash, but alright. In which case, the second slash does hit,
Okay.
and that is 11 more damage.
Alright, that is exactly enough. Basically, you come up, sweep underneath it, and knock it up into the air. And you kind of Captain America with your shield and crack down into its head.
Yeah.
Diving down, the shield splits the creature's head open on the ground.
Squash like a bug.
They are bugs.
I mean, they're not true bugs. True bugs are like beetles and things, you know.
So Freya and Mialee, and that would essentially leave Danaka available too. You've still got the one that's kind of burrowing, trying to escape away from Saxifrage, but that was the only one that you can see left.
How deep is it?
It's... I'd call it about 5 feet deep and 5 feet back.
Leave it. Let's move on.
I
Got
agree.
things to do today.
It is great.
He's just going into his home. We should leave him. I don't think he wants to play anymore.
It is gravely injured. I do not think will follow.
But what if it has more friends? So I jump in.
Okay. Are you gonna make an attack on it?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
So Freya goes into the home to find more friends.
She's not happy unless she's wiping out the whole list.
Alright. That is a 24.
Yeah, I don't even know. You don't even really have to roll. How do you want to do this? It's a 3.
I just kind of want to touch its shoulder. As it turns around, I'll just, with my fist, just hit it as hard as I can in the face.
You see the exoskeleton kind of crumple under the weight of your fist, smashing what remained of its face. The mandibles kind of breaking and snapping off, sending him kind of spiraling, spinning into the darkness behind it within the tunnel.
Alright.
That'll
Back out.
That'll bring us out of initiative.
Are
Deed
you
is done.
proud? You wrestled the bug.
I didn't wrestle him. I punched him. It's a big
Magnus
difference.
shakes his head and moves on.
Danaka sighs and looks at you guys. So I guess there is a reason we don't take this area.
Yes.
Are you okay, Danaka? Are you hurt? I mean, hurt to the point where you can't keep moving?
I think I'll be alright.
We have healing spells.
I feel like I just might need to sit down and take a rest for a while, but
It's time to take a rest on Freya's shoulders.
I also could carry you. It won't bother me.
I'm not being carried.
There.
That's not gonna happen.
Well, then I'm gonna carry on.
Boo.
Hush it, Freya. You punched a bug.
I'm pretty proud of that.
But you also lost all of your beer.
You know.
Was it beer? I never asked.
Hey.
You know it was.
It could have been many things.
It was healing water, and it wasted it all.
I do not believe you.
As Danaka and Magnus kind of push forward through the field, you notice maybe about 15-20 feet away from where you're at now what kind of looks like a makeshift nest over in that area. Just twigs and leaves and lots of things just kind of scavenged and put together. And you see these brown and white spotted eggs sitting in it.
Can I tell what kind of eggs what creature the eggs belong to?
If you go up to it, I'll let you make a nature check.
I shall do that.
Okay. Yeah, as you approach, you see 2 of them look unhatched, but there are several more that look like they have been hatched. Kind of
That'll be a
sad.
6.
Okay. Sat next to this kind of large pile of bones, mostly animal, but some humanoid from what you can see. The eggs, you're not entirely sure what they are, but it's a relatively safe guess to think that they were the ones that housed these creatures you just battled.
I think I found the baby versions of the click-clicks.
Oh. So their parents were just trying to protect them.
I don't know if they were the parents or if those were the babies. I just know that I'm pretty sure these are eggs.
Well, we won't come this way next time.
Yeah, I feel bad now if those were the babies.
They were definitely trying to eat us, though.
Yeah, they were pretty aggressive.
But we were in their spot.
Yes, we were. We should have gone the other way.
Looking around at the nest, you see a lot of different things kind of scavenged and brought over into there. Just different bits of weaponry and a lot of various other items. One thing in particular you notice is kind of trampled within the dirt, and close to the bones in there you see what looks like a coin purse.
I pick up the coin purse.
Sure. Yeah, it's buried just a little bit. As you pull it up, you hear jingling from inside.
I open the coin purse.
Taking the time to open it up and look inside, you count
Surprise! It's jingly spiders.
You count out 24 pieces of platinum.
Whoa. Dang. I look at everyone and I go, well, that made this trip worth it from a monetary perspective.
True.
You can say that again.
I look at Danaka and I think about how to yeah, there's 6, so I give everyone 4 pieces of platinum.
Danaka takes 1 and hands back the rest. This is plenty.
Are you sure this is...
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna die soon, so...
Well, we all must die someday, but...
No, I'm sure it'll be fine. No, you guys helping me out as much as yours enough.
But the other 3 in the adventuring expenses fund.
We have that?
We do now.
Okay.
You do see Danaka kind of start to rummage through the rest of the nest and see what's there worth taking or keeping.
Anything?
Yeah, there's some stuff. You might want to take a look.
I also go take...
Make an investigation check, please.
Yeah. That seems fair. Ooh, I did very poorly. That is a 2 on die with a total of 4.
Okay. You both find... It looks like a kind of ornate, well-carved spear, but it is mostly buried. You found basically the end of it. And Danaka found kind of palm-sized circular stone with what looked like a face carved into it. And you actually found another similar item, but the face is facing the opposite direction.
I put it in my pocket to look at later.
Okay. You try and grab the spear or no?
Yes, I do try and grab the spear and
It comes free pretty easily. And you can see as you pull it through, it's kind of still being gripped by the skeletal hand of, presume it its previous owner.
That's gross.
But you do see kind of faint arcane glyphs carved along its length, kind of spiraling out to the end.
Can I try and do an Arcana check on it, even though I'm not proficient?
You can try. It'll be hard to know exactly how much you get from it, but sure.
Yeah, that's a 9.
You imagine you'll have to take some time with it and kind of learn it a little bit better.
I take the spear.
Okay.
There's more nest, it sounds like, and I searched very poorly if anyone else wants to look.
At this point, it would just take more time to do so.
Okay.
I think we should get moving, just in case there's more babies or the mom and dad come back.
Well,
Agreed.
I think we killed the mom and dad, so...
I'd rather fight the werewolves in the daylight when
Agreed.
there are people wolves.
Also, Danaka might very well turn into a werebear and fight us too, and that would suck.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't really want to choke her out again.
Same.
She kind of grabs at her neck. Yeah, I'd prefer that too.
It's not on my list to do today.
So you guys continue on, following Danaka. She's still leading you. She does look injured. She's not limping in any way, but she does look a bit slower than before. After a while, you notice the sun is directly overhead at this point. It's about midday. You see her as she's walking. She begins to kind of rummage through her cloak and a little bit of her pack. Pulls out some dried rations and begins to eat them on the way.
Question, do we lose those 10 hit points now?
Yes.
Yes, those temporary ones fade, yeah.
Yeah, it's only really good for like a minute or something.
Okay.
Eventually, you guys are kind of back in a more dense part of the forest. You notice more trees begin to kind of fill your view, less plains and more wilderness. And I think that is a good enough place to go ahead and take a break. So. We hope you're enjoying the show so far. I just wanted to take a quick moment to talk about our partner Roleplay Lead. As mentioned before, they work with the younger crowd to help overcome all sorts of mental health struggles with the use of Dungeons & Dragons. We here at Bard Time Stories asked our players what Dungeons & Dragons means to them, so please, enjoy this quick little story about what it means to one of us.
Hi, my name is Andrea, and I play Saxit Frage, and who is a Warforged Druid character that I really care a lot about. I think that's one of the most fun parts of Dungeons & Dragons in general, is getting to create a character, or maybe even multiple characters if you play for a while, that you really become emotionally invested in. You get to decide where that character growth is going to go. And for me, I want to be more creative in my life. I want to try and write more and things like that. But a lot of the time I don't feel very confident in my abilities, and I don't feel good during my day. So the last thing I want to do when I come home is try and make something that I will then be very hypercritical of. So it's really nice to have something like Dungeons & Dragons where I'm not the only one writing the story. We're doing it together. We're making something together. And sometimes it doesn't always turn out the way I want, but it's often better because of that. So in terms of a relatively low-stakes creative project of just making something silly or heartfelt or just fun with your friends or people that you are maybe meeting for the first time, I think it's a great opportunity to get to make something, even if it's just, a character that you play once. And so I would say if you're a person who's interested in trying to be more creative, but you're not feeling very confident in what you're doing at this time, but you just want to practice it, if you want to exercise that creativity, Dungeons & Dragons is a great outlet for that. So I would say that's one of the things you can try doing more in Roleplay Lead.
You can find Roleplay Lead on social media such as Facebook and Twitter, or their website www.roleplaylead.org to learn more and register. Classes are available for children 11 to 17 in the Castle Rock and Littleton areas starting in September. And now, on with the show. So, as you guys are continuing your journey through the forest into the afternoon, a few more hours pass pretty uneventfully. After a while, though, you begin to hear something moving in the forest ahead of you. It sounds like some rattling of maybe pots and pans or metal kind of clanging together.
The raccoons are getting aggressive.
We knew this day would come when they would rise up against us. I will fight with them.
What are you talking about?
Saxifrage just joined the raccoons. I don't see us winning from here, so I'm going as well. It was nice knowing ya.
What?
I don't actually think they're raccoons. I don't think they know how to use pans because I've never seen a raccoon cook.
To be fair, we do not know that it is pans. It could be just metal armor on the raccoons.
Or pots.
Why would they be wearing armor? They're just raccoons.
They're raccoons rising to take over the world. Of course they need armor.
It's always been their plan.
I'm gonna die out here.
But for real, what is that, you guys?
Danaka kind of points a crooked finger, and you can see a large shape kind of clouded in darkness and moving throughout the trees. But as it keeps moving, you begin to notice it does have a humanoid form. It almost looks like a larger humanoid with a very big, almost like a hiker's backpack, just packed to the brim with stuff, towering over them, kind of shaking through the trees as it walks.
Is that one of your
No, I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Should we say hello?
Go ahead.
Sure.
We could sneak past them. I have that spell. If we wanted to.
I think we should say hello. What if they're nice?
What if they're not?
Let us say hello. Hello!
The figure stops moving immediately, kind of turns. You see it looking through. It turns around and begins to walk to where it heard the sound, and as it does, you can see its form get revealed a little bit more. It's a larger creature, probably around Mialee's size, maybe a little bit shorter.
So Sax's size.
Yeah, I guess so. Covered in head to toe in this kind of tan brown fur. Looking at its face, you can see some distinct goblinoid features, and you immediately recognize this as a bugbear, sporting a large backpack, again like a hiker's backpack, just towered with things and stuff packed into it, and you can see the clanging that you've heard before was the actual clanging of 2 pans that are hanging off of the side of it.
Who are you?
I'm Mialee. I'm from the Bluewood.
Brock.
Saxifrage also beats their chest. Saxifrage.
You can see from the top of the backpack what looks like a smaller head pokes up from inside of it. And looking at it, it's a green head, and it looks like a slightly overgrown frog. Almost like a poison dart frog even. Very smooth skin, bright green with a couple black spots. But it pops up. Throck kind of looks up behind him.
Think they're friend. Friend?
Friend.
I'm definitely friend.
Friend.
I like your small frog friend.
You see the little frog kind of hop out of the bag, and now you can see its full height is a little bit shorter than Magnus even. It's a very, very small creature. It hops down onto the bugbear's shoulder, and you can see in its hand is a dagger. And he's pointing it at you guys.
I don't know what that means.
He said, what do you want?
We are just passing through.
Like in the grand scheme of things, or like right now, or like life goals? Like what are we talking about here? Like I need to plant some seeds some places so that I can be a big tree.
The frog creature jumps down onto the ground and kind of scampers over to you, Magnus. Still kind of leveling the dagger at you.
Chunk!
What?
Think you just called me fat?
The bugbear kind of shakes.
No. Him name Chunk.
Oh. Magnus.
Kind of looks at you and furrows its brow. Puts the dagger away, but it's still kind of staring at you, cocks its head to the side.
I'm a tree. But just a little one right now.
Have you guys seen any werewolves
Yeah.
recently?
Yeah.
Like last night?
Uh-huh.
Cool. Did they try and attack you?
Too big.
You're too big, they're too big, Chunk's too
He
big.
points at Chunk.
How many werewolves?
Like
He
3.
holds up his hands and shrugs.
Like more than us?
Some.
That's fair.
I sleep. Play with my things, and he points to his backpack.
It's very good.
You got things?
Not many. Got a seat.
He begins to shrug off and take his backpack and put it on the ground. Opens it up and starts kind of digging through it, and he starts pulling out several different items. Pulls out a clay pot. He pulls out what looks like a candle on one of those kind of silver holders. He pulls out, not individually, but pretty close, what looks like 17 individual cards, kind of scattered amongst his bag. And kind of smacks them and put them on the ground.
Saxifrage leans over to Magnus and is like, tries to whisper, but Saxifrage can't really whisper. Do we have time for this?
I don't see why not.
Because the whole Danaka turning
I mean,
into
look
a
at
werebear.
the poor guy. He just wants to show us his things.
That's fair.
And really, it's like, what are you gonna make? Are you gonna make Chunk mad?
Well, no. Chunk has a dagger.
He's glaring at you as you say it. Chunk kind of hops over to Throck, kind of tugs on him, points at you guys again. Throck looks down at him.
Maybe they want trade.
He looks at you and nods.
Trade?
Sure.
Okay.
He keeps going through his bag and pulls out 2 red liquid potions in little vials. The last thing he pulls out of his bag, before kind of some of his clothing things start falling out of it, is a, even in his hands, relatively big emerald. He places it down and it's kind of shining and sparkling across the forest floor.
Very shiny, very nice.
Yeah, I like shiny things.
I do too.
You got any?
No.
I take out a piece of gold. Huh?
He brings you one of the playing cards.
Yeah.
Trade?
Yeah.
Okay. Got more.
I think I just need the one, right? How many do you need?
And he holds up the rest of them, the 16 remaining.
I need those.
Yeah.
Why do I need them? I got one here.
These ones are better.
How are they better?
There's more.
Chunk looks at you and glares. Kind of points wildly.
What's he pointing at?
Magnus.
What's he worried about?
He thinks it was a bad deal
For me or you?
for us. But I like
Why?
this thing.
You got the shiny and Magnus got the card.
Yeah.
Cards aren't shiny.
Calm down, Chunk.
He kind of pats it. His entire palm just covers the head of this frog creature.
Calm down, Thunk. You like more things.
I hold out a silver piece and see. Do you like this?
He hands you another card. Chunk points at you with both of his fingers.
Calm down, Chunk.
And he kind of palms him and pushes him all the way to the forest floor.
What kind of potions are those?
Feel better kind.
Like if you're sick, you drink them and then you're not sick?
Okay.
I hold up 2 golds and look at Chunk. And, like,
He's just
for
got
potions,
got his little brow furrowed at you, just angry.
I hold up 3 golds.
He crosses his arms, looks up at Throck, shakes his head no.
I hold up 4 golds.
Chunk say, those are a lot. Lot gold. If that's the shiny.
Yes, these are golds.
Other shiny, maybe something.
I take out a ration that I'd made before of like a little bit of cheese and some carrots and a little bit of honey in a little jar.
He gives you another card.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't know, that was 3 things in a thing.
If food.
Uh-huh.
Food easy to find.
No, those are honey roasted carrots.
He grabs some dirt, puts it in his mouth.
See? Food easy to find.
So, Chunk, I'm not understanding. You want...
You're talking to Chunk the frog, or?
Yes, Chunk the
Okay.
Frog.
He's just glaring at you.
I'm like... I also look at Throck and it's like, does he want more gold for the potion? Or does he want less or something else?
How about a copper piece?
Chunk spits at you.
You're really trying to outwit Chunk? He's the brains of the operation, obviously.
Also,
I
he
thought I
had-
just want shiny things.
Chunk,
So different shiny things.
Chunk looks up at Throck and kind of chitters some more. You hear more of that strange language that you don't quite understand. And Throck's kind of nodding.
Huh? Wait. Chunk say 30 gold shiny or something cool.
Like an ice cube?
Let me ask him.
And they kind of confer a little bit. Chunk just shakes his head the entire time. Throck kind of wanders over to where he placed that big clay jug. You see him stick his head in it. And you hear a muffled word. And as he pulls his head out, it's just covered in mayonnaise. just kind of dripping from some of his fur.
Don't want this? Seafood easy find. This make it.
Kind of sloshes some mayonnaise onto the ground.
That jar makes food?
Mm-hmm.
He sticks his head in again. Comes out covered in...
Can I try?
Sure.
And he holds it out for you.
Hey, Saxifrage tries some.
It's fatty, creamy mayonnaise.
I try, like, taking a few handfuls out, and I'm watching to see if it's refilling itself.
You scoop some out, some of it kind of sloshing onto the ground.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be instantly refilling, no.
Okay. I was just trying to ascertain, like, is this the magically refilling?
Magnus is gonna ask the lovely casters of the group if any of them have magic mouth.
I do not. Sorry.
I don't believe so.
Ah,
I think that's more of a bard thing.
You had a lot of fun with that one in the last campaign.
I sure did.
Maybe find more things. Maybe come back later.
Sure.
Okay.
What was your name again? You know Chonk.
Throck.
Rock.
Nice to meet you, Throck.
Mm-hmm. Nice to meet you.
Bye.
You seem so nice.
Like Hob the Throck Goblin.
What?
Okay.
You see Chunk kind of climb back up Throck's furry body up into the pack again as he puts it back on. Throck does hand you guys the rest of the cards,
Oh, thanks.
despite Chunk's disagreement.
Oh, thanks, Throck.
Don't tell them.
I won't. You're a good man.
You see a rock kind of sail from inside the pack onto Throck's head.
Hey, now.
Think it raining. Okay, bye.
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 He walks back out into the forest.
I shuffle the
I
cards
like
around
that.
and draw one.
They look like regular playing cards. Taking some time with them will reveal any potential magic properties, but
Hey, Freya! Pick a card!
Do I have to?
Yeah!
Uh,
No. You gotta, like, pick a card.
don't-
Like, in your head. Of the normal cards. Of the normal
like,
ones.
Okay, 6 of hearts?
No, you're bad at this game. Oh, you're the worst at this game. There's not even a 6 of hearts in here.
I know there's no 6. You don't even have a full deck.
Alright, Freya, pick another one. Freya, pick another one. Freya!
I'm not playing this game.
I just continue drawing cards and flipping them around
Yeah.
as we go.
so the rest of the journey continues without incident, really. But as you press on, you notice Danaka get increasingly more worried. Her frail body hasn't failed her yet on the trip, but it seems getting nearer to the Lycan Encampment has her nervous and maybe a bit frightened.
You weren't worried about dying in the forest. Why are you worried about dying to them?
It's just...
Did you have a bad breakup with the one who turned you?
You could say that, yeah.
It wasn't you, it's me stuff.
I mean, it's definitely her.
Rothy's kind of a bitch now.
She wasn't previously.
It was more understandable.
Wouldn't it be more understandable
more
now?
more tolerable, I guess.
Ah.
Now it's just on the nose.
How did you know each other before this whole thing happened?
I mean, we were married.
So, yes, definitely bad breakup.
Yeah. But then she just started going crazy with all of this. She thinks she's some kind of emissary of the gods. The Wyldmother and the Moonweaver. Like, this is something that she has to do.
I know the Wyldmother, and I don't think
I do
she'd say
too.
that. Right, Mialee? She wouldn't say, "Oh man, I think all of humanity would like to
Mama's
really be
never been
werewolves."
like that.
I've never heard the Wyldmother say that once. So, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how okay are you with us killing your wife, ex-wife, current wife?
It might be the only way.
Like, do you want us to try shit before, or would you like us to just go for the neck?
If we can just get some blood, we might be able to do something, but...
I mean, we can get some blood. That's not the issue here.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Sure. Do you need a backpack ride?
No.
Ride like a backpack? Freya's gotcha.
No, I'm alright.
Alright.
Laverra tries to hug her with her wings.
I gotta be honest, I hate this. Please stop.
Oh, sorry. Laverra,
No, it's fine. I guess that's how some
I'll
people...
take your hug.
Laverra hugs Mialee instead.
Alright, I'm glad that... I'm just not a... Okay, yeah.
Do we notice that we're getting closer to the encampment? Can we, like, see it now?
You can't quite see anything, but Danaka does seem to be moving a little more trepidatiously as you get nearer and nearer. A couple more hours pass, and you think by now it's maybe 6, 7 o'clock. It's getting closer to dusk, and eventually she comes to a sudden stop, sniffs the air briefly, and she looks at you and says, "We're close."
We should probably get off the main path, go into the woods, do a little sneaky sneak.
There's no main path. You've been in just regular woods for a long time now.
Okay.
We should start doing a sneaky sneak.
We can definitely do a sneaky sneak.
So you got that thing that'll help Freya sneaky sneak?
Yes, I
Freya,
have.
this time you've got to sneaky sneak.
Alright.
Not just barge in like you've got your, waddle.
I'm sorry, what?
Hey, not all of the metaphors I have can be winners. In fact, that one's a simile, not even a metaphor.
I also turn to Danaka and go, "Do you feel where there e?"
There's no real way to tell. I can't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Even when
if
she is wereberry, I don't think she knows it.
I feel like me right now.
That's good.
I feel scared, but I feel like me.
Okay. I cast Pass Without Trace
On everybody?
on everyone.
Okay.
In 30 feet of me. So that what that practically speaking means is when there is a stealth check, you add +10 to your dexterity.
Yep.
Ooh.
So be sneaky.
And we can't be tracked except by magical means, which I don't know if that includes magical werewolf noses.
So I assume that means everyone would like to make a stealth check. So go ahead and do that, please.
Good thing I had that +10.
Yeah.
15.
23.
Okay.
17.
17.
32.
Okay.
Damn.
Sacks of Rage.
15.
And I rolled the Naka. Alright. So you guys kind of hunker down and begin to make your way around. You find yourselves at the crest of a hill overlooking a shallow green valley. Nestled in the crook of the valley is a massive white shape that's hard to fathom at first, until you realize you're looking at the top of a massive, sun-bleached and half-buried humanoid skull. Its round dome gives way to two equally large empty eye sockets, and its open mouth forming a tunnel, all but swallowing the forest floor. The bottom jaw of the skull, mostly underground, displays huge fang-like teeth, serving almost as a warning, in and of themselves, of the dangerous area.
I'm glad we don't have to fight that.
You can see two shapes near the teeth of this, near the literal mouth of this cavern, as dusk begins to fully encompass the area. Torchlight kind of dancing near the mouth of this cave. The two shapes you see are both seemingly humanoid, and from what you can gather, completely naked. A closer glance reveals that one of them is a drow male of slender build and long white dreadlocks kind of obscuring his face. And the other is a tiefling male of stockier build, shorter and wider, with a bald head and a large bushy beard and plenty of body hair. And they seem to be kind of scanning the area, almost looking for any trouble.
How far are we away from them?
I'd say by the time you're able to make out those details, probably about 50 to 60 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna try to sneak 30 feet closer.
Okay.
And then do Misty Step to try to get behind them. To teleport into the cave just behind them.
Okay.
Do I sneak that far?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
let's see.
I didn't know if there was something you wanted me to
As you kind of disappear in your puff of smoke and reappear behind them, you can kind of get a closer, you can hear more of their conversation as they're just kind of discussing amongst themselves. The tiefling with the big bushy beard kind of turns to the other one. So you think there's going to be any problem tonight? The drow shakes his head. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad you got an optimistic attitude about all this shit. He kind of looks around. You seem to have been unnoticed.
I cast message and I point to Magnus and I ask him what they're talking about.
When I cast message back, does it have to be spoken out loud?
That's a good question. How does the spell work? I know they can reply to the message, but do they have to speak?
That's a good question.
It says they reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
Okay.
I whisper into my own head as very quietly as I can, turning my head away even.
Sure.
Side-eyeing them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm they're not expecting anything. One of them's not. And I very carefully take out my sword.
Okay.
And I position it right at the back of the drow's neck.
Okay.
And I kind of motion to the others. I was kind of waving them toward me to come out and cause a commotion.
Can we just sneak in?
Let's sneak in.
Can you guys sneak in?
We sure can try.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
as soon as that begins to happen, you notice the sun has dipped very, very low in the sky. The forest grows quiet,
I think
and suddenly you hear a piercing howl echoing from within the skull cave itself and outward.
It scares
Through the
me
valley.
enough that I just shove the sword through the dude's neck.
Okay, make an attack roll, and that's going to be initiative from everybody.
Do I get advantage because I'm behind him and also...
You'll get advantage because it's a sneak attack, yeah. Because it's, he's definitely not expecting it.
Cool.
We will see what that means shortly. And this
So
is
do I get
against-
to make my first attack and
Yes.
be an initiative? Okay.
Yes, you will technically get to make your 2 attacks as if it were a standard round. You get a surprise round
Okay.
before a regular initiative.
Is it advantage on both attacks?
No.
Or just the first one?
He notices you after the first one.
He notices there's a sword in his neck after the first one. Alright.
Yeah. Alright, Freya, what'd you get?
6.
Wow, that's pretty bad. Laverra.
21.
No.
Mialee.
I'm gonna twin with Freya tonight, for I too got a 6.
Woo.
And I'm here to make everyone feel better about themselves. Saxifrage got a 3.
And then Magnus, what was yours?
5.
5. Okay.
Woo!
So you still get your initial round. You still get your initial surprise round. You are the only one that can act, as you were the inciting incident, essentially. And this was the drow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Ensnaring Strike before I do.
Okay.
And he has to make a Strength saving throw.
Alright. He is this one. Strength saving throw, that is a 12.
That matches.
That's gonna be a save, yeah.
Alright. 20. He still takes 29 damage though.
Wow. That's a lot.
Sorry, I really didn't mean to. I
What
got
did you roll
scared.
to hit, by the way, just to be sure?
I got a...
I'm sure it was high enough, just gotta make sure.
Yeah, I got a 16 on die plus 7, and then a 19 on die plus 7.
Okay.
So-
Your sword is not silvered, is it?
No, but the magic.
Okay,
Right?
does it make your weapon magical, or is it just the thing?
I guess it's just the thing, in which case it just does the 6 damage.
Okay, gotcha. So as you begin to push your blade into the base of this of the drow's neck, you feel just the tough hide resisting your blade, but you unleash the magic. The vines attempt to wrap around him, but he pushes through it and kind of pulls himself free. So, with that is going to bring us to Danaka, and you can see, or not Danaka, Laverra, sorry, jeez. And you can see Magnus's attempt at assassinating this drow Lycan.
It definitely was less of an attempt and more of just a reaction to that howl. But sure.
But you can see his body in mid-transformation already. The drow is kind of shaping and moving and twisting as his body begins to take some lycanthropic shape. The tiefling is the same way. You can see his body kind of contorting.
I am going to cast Grease
Okay,
underneath the tiefling male.
sure.
That is a dex save.
Alright. Dex save, that is a 9. So I think that's going to be a fail.
Yeah, that fails.
Okay.
And he is now prone.
Okay. So you just spurt grease under his feet and he slips and falls?
Yeah.
Is essentially what happens? Okay.
Yep.
Great.
It's hilarious.
We all laugh at his pain.
Yep. Sure do.
So you see this nude but already furry tiefling mid-transformation kind of twisting and thrashing about. He slips on the grease that spawned underneath him and falls flat on his face, kind of digging it into the dirt underneath him. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Alright, that is going to bring us to the Lycan's turn. Let's see. So the howl itself makes their transformation a bonus action. So you see both of them begin to take full form of their lycanthropic entity. The drow itself twisting and shaping into this kind of almost horrific looking boar-like creature. Large tusks jetting out from under his jaw. Still standing in this hybrid form. He kind of turns and looks back at Magnus now.
Hey, he's fallen. He's grown in his hybrid.
He is not. He
Isn't
is
the drow
not.
the one who got his oil under him?
No, that was the other one.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was the tiefling.
Good news is he can't charge at you, but he is going to make 2 kind of hoof attacks, I guess is what they'd be. One of them definitely misses with a natural 4.
Nice.
The other one is a 22, which I think hits.
Yeah, I guess.
So you will take 7 bludgeoning damage from that one.
Okay.
As it kind of cracks down on you. And you can see out of the corner of your eye the tiefling male that had slipped and fallen begin to finish transforming into his form, and you can see a tiger in his place.
Oh, come on.
A were-tiger.
Were tiger, a bull, or a bear.
But it takes basically the rest of his turn to kind of stand up, and he's going to use his action to try and locate somebody else. Make a perception check.
Just get his bearings back.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Good to know. That is going to bring us to Danaka. Which... go ahead and pick one of you guys, and I'd like you to roll percentile die for me.
I can do it.
Okay?
Okay, the 55.
Okay. You see her form writhing on the ground as she begins to transform as well.
Well, that's too bad.
Now we have to kill everyone.
Shame.
So again, transformation because of that howl is a bonus action for her. And she is going to immediately stand up in her werebear form, a great white bear, standing up amongst the forest brush that you guys are kind of all sneaking through. And she's going to take off down towards the mouth of the cave, in the direction of the other 2 Lycans, as well as Magnus.
I'm for it.
The arrogance of man. Thinking we can control nature.
She is good.
Says the character who regularly wrestles animals.
Ooh, that's a lot of speed. So
I mean,
yeah, she's
to be
gonna.
fair, he was not using his character voice.
She's going to be able to get there. She's going to make one of her attacks at the were-tiger as she runs past him.
Fisticatus.
That's a hit.
Good work, Danaka.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage. And then she is going to rush up to the were-boar and make her next attack against him. That's a miss, though. Alright. Mialee, Freya, Magnus, and Saxifrage. Basically everyone. What do you guys want to do? Everyone except Laverra. She goes first.
I'm gonna try to latch onto the bear's throat and just try to choke him out just like I did
Okay.
lady before. Danaka.
This is Danaka. The bear?
No, the boar.
The boar, okay.
Okay.
Boar.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're gonna make a grappling check.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's my grappling strength?
Either strength strength athletics for you, yeah.
19?
You got a 17, so you've got him. He's currently restrained. He's not being choked yet, but he's restrained.
I'm gonna try to use all my weight to like flip him onto the back and just like
Okay.
hold
Sure,
him
yeah,
down.
you- yeah,
hold him
you've-
on his little back and
You've
grab
got
him
him, and
prone.
his hoofs are kind of kicking up and kind of flailing wildly. You can see him kind of pushing against Danaka as she stands there in her great white bear form. Is that it from you? I mean, you've got him.
Yeah,
Do you have
I've
any
got
bonus
him.
action?
Can I kick him as a bonus action?
I mean, not really,
Alright.
but
Then then no.
okay,
That's all I got.
okay.
Guys, I got him! I got him like I got her!
You guys are still hidden in the brush nearby. What do
Guys!
you guys want to do?
How far away are we?
Probably about. How far away were you when you teleported? You were about
30 feet away.
feet, so you're probably about 40 to 50.
So
I'm going to move forward as far as I can.
Okay, are you
Hey.
breaking stealth or are you.
I would like to try.
Because continuing stealth would be. Your movement is slowed. You're moving at half speed.
I'm not going to stealth
Okay.
anymore. I'm just going for it. Like,
Okay.
we're already
I've got their
causing
attention.
commotion.
You're good.
Yeah, so I'm just going to move as far as I can, which is 30 feet. And then
Okay.
I'm going to throw some fire at someone. So
Okay,
Magnus
which one?
is presumably the were-tiger,
Okay.
because Magnus is not currently on the were-tiger.
Yeah.
Under the
So,
were-tiger.
gonna do a ranged spell attack on that.
Alright.
Let's see. That is a 26 to hit.
Hits. Where Tiger's AC is 12.
Good to know. That's 10 fire damage.
Alright, good to know.
And I don't believe I have any bonus actions I can do
Okay.
this time.
So that's your movement and action and everything.
Mhm.
That still leaves Mialee and Freya.
I want to cast Wind Wall at the tiger.
Okay. How does that work?
So they need to make a strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw is 15.
Okay, so they saved.
Okay.
So what's gonna happen is, so when I cast it, I'm basically just gonna kind of create like, it's basically just like a blast of wind heading straight towards them. And so they're gonna take half damage because they saved.
Okay.
So
Is it gonna?
they're going
Does
to
it hit both the
take-
tiger and the boar, or just the tiger?
I don't want to hit Magnus, so
Okay.
just the tiger.
Okay. So you just position it in a way where it's just gonna blast at the tiger. Okay.
Exactly, yeah. And then here's my other one. Oh, that wasn't a D8. Okay, so he takes cool 2 bludgeoning.
Okay.
I'm not rolling great tonight.
Alright. Yeah, he's just kind of buffeted by the wind, with the fire burning at his feet. Anything else from you, Freya? What do you want to do?
all I can really do is run up to the boar.
Okay.
That's about it.
Oh, it takes your action to dash.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Did you want to do your bonus action for anything? I think you've got your
Yeah.
At least sweat at him, Freya!
command. And
Magnus, just choke him out more. So
Okay.
she'll get an extra attack.
Okay.
Amazingly.
You're using one of your superiority die.
Yeah.
Okay. Does he get an attack now, or is that extra
On her
damage?
turn,
His.
his turn, he can attack again.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
So
That'll
are we
bring us.
rolling at this one or the next one? Next round.
I'd allow this one. So if you want to do that kick, yeah, go for it.
Kick him!
Go for it.
don't kick him.
Okay.
Hang on.
Alright, that'll bring us back to the top then, with Laverra.
Alright.
With how the battle is kind of transformed at this point, everyone rushing out of their hiding spots. What do you want to do now?
I'm gonna rush out of my hiding spot as well.
Okay.
And how far away is the were-tiger?
About, again, 40 to 50 feet.
Alright, so I'm gonna use my action to fly over there. Oh, yeah. Or not my action, my
Movement?
movement. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can get right there.
And then I'm going to cast Shatter.
Shatter? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that just on the were-tiger?
That is everyone within a 10-foot radius of me that has to make the con save.
I think that might be me
I
too.
think that's going to be pretty much everyone. Unless you can choose your targets.
No, I cannot.
Okay,
It's everyone
so that's
within-
everyone. Everyone go ahead and make a constitution save.
I got a nat 1.
Ooh. Alright.
What's the save?
14?
Oh,
Okay,
thank
I
you.
saved.
Okay.
15.
18.
So the tiger got a 9. The boar got a 17. So the boar saved.
Alright.
So go ahead and roll damage. Those that save take full. Or those that save take half. Everyone else
Yeah.
takes full.
So that's
8, 9, 10, 11, 12 then, right?
So that's the
Yeah.
full damage amounts then?
Yep.
Okay.
Full damage is 12, half damage is 6. There we go.
yeah.
Ow.
Ow.
Yeah, so how does that manifest?
The way Laverra kind of casts it is she spreads her wings out full length and just screeches like a hawk as loud as she can.
Oh my god! Laverra! Are you kidding me?
It shakes through everyone's entire body. Oh, I didn't roll one for Danaka. That's a fail. Cool. Yeah, this just shriek rings through everyone's ears. Some of you are a little more accustomed to Laverra's capabilities at this point, but it's still a surprise nonetheless. That'll bring us back to the lycanthropes. The were-tiger.
Real quick before you say that, just looking over wind wall, it looks like the wall actually sticks around for either up to 1 minute or until I lose concentration.
Okay, good. Yeah, it doesn't look like he makes another save or takes damage or anything, but it does just blast everything in that area upwards. He's gonna fight through it though, and he sees Freya there, kind of towering over the boar, because that's where you rushed up to, right? Was
Yeah.
the boar that Magnus is wrestling?
Yeah.
He sees you there, and he's just gonna kind of rush over you. He doesn't get to make his pounce attack because he's not moving far enough, but he does get to make 2 claw attacks. One of them is a miss, natural 3. The other one is a 17, which I think hits.
Yep.
For a total of 10 slashing damage. And that is its turn. So we're on to the wereboar now. He's going to attempt to wriggle away from you, Magnus.
Bring it on.
Let's see.
Dodge roll.
Yeah, go ahead.
Strength.
Yeah. He's going to try and pry you off of him. That is.
19.
He got a 14. So you still got him. That's
No,
his
you don't.
action. It's his action. That's all he can do. You've still got him. So now we're on to Danaka. She is actually going to... Saxifrage, where are you at? Are you still kind of further back?
I'm still kind of further back because I was only able to move forward 30 feet.
Right, okay.
So I'm within 10 feet of the were-tiger.
Okay.
Or where it was.
Right, yeah.
When I
yeah,
started.
I moved up to...
She's gonna claw me.
She's not close enough to you.
Okay, that's encouraging.
Seeing who... I'm just trying to see who all is near her enough. I think the closest one to her would be the boar and Magnus. I think she's going to make an attack at both. Which she'll have advantage against the boar because he is restrained. I'm not sure about Magnus. I'm just going to make it a straight roll. That's a hit on the boar. And on you, Magnus, that is a 15.
Doesn't hit.
Okay.
Or doesn't hurt.
Yeah. So yeah, the large bear claws just rake across the boar's back, trying to catch you as they pass through, but they're not able to. Let's see how much damage that is to the boar. There we go. Alright. Everyone else. Everyone except Laverra. What do you guys want to do?
Okay. I am gonna bash that cat's.
Kitty? Okay.
Let's go, kitty. Okay, I'm gonna. Does a 15 hit?
Yeah, the tiger?
Yeah.
AC of 12.
Oh, sweet. Cool.
Yeah, they're not
Okay.
too difficult to hit. The problem is doing damage if you don't have something with silver.
Well, luckily my hammer is.
Yeah, you got your hammer silvered.
I'm also gonna do menacing attack.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
That means if I. It has to make a whiz saving throw
Okay.
at 16 to beat.
16 to beat? Wow, that's tough. No, that's a 5.
Alright, next turn it's frightened of me.
Okay.
And it only lasts for the next turn.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
To the end of the next turn. And so, time to do damage. So there's 11 there. I'm gonna do,
Alright. 11 there.
do another attack.
Alright.
You said 12 is their AC?
Yep.
Alright, that hits. I got 12.
Barely.
Oh, there we go. So that's 20?
20 additional?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
But yeah, you just emanate this menacing aura as your hammer blow cracks into it. You see the tiger's face kind of look up at you, snarl, "Who the hell you think you are?" You crack into it with a second blow. It kind of lets out a... And then as it looks up at you again, you'd see its eyes just shaking with fear.
The name's Freya.
Also, the tiger can talk?
Hmm?
Cool.
They're
Because
Lycans, they can all talk.
Danaka
Presumably.
wasn't talking.
Soon it won't be
We
talking.
weren't exactly asking her questions.
That's true. We were mostly trying to knock her unconscious.
Alright, yeah. So that's Freya, Mialee, Magnus, and Sax.
I'm gonna let Windwell drop,
Okay.
just because I'm kind of done with it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna rush towards the tiger with my mate. That'll be a miss. Do I get a second strike?
I don't believe you do as a cleric.
I don't think I do either. Could I cast a cantrip?
If it's casting time as a bonus action, yeah.
Nope. Okay, so I guess I'm done for now.
Okay. Yeah, so you rush up and take a swing with your mace, but unfortunately it's hard to find purchase on this furred form.
Sax of Rage is going to cast Poison Spray at the were-tiger.
Okay.
So they need to make a Constitution saving throw. The AC is 14.
DC 14.
Yeah, DC
It got
14.
an 18.
Okay.
So that's a success.
What is their AC?
Armor class is 12.
Cool.
Okay.
Or no, for the boar it's 10.
Cool. Yeah, I just want to keep it grappled, choked out on the ground. Trying to
Okay.
deprive it of oxygen. I assume it needs that.
So if that's what you're trying to do, I'd say strength check.
Good. Straight?
Yeah. Just to see how much pressure you're able to
18.
apply. Okay. So yeah, you feel like you're cutting off a good flow of the blood to this creature's brain. You can hear it kind of gasping for breath underneath you.
I'm gonna try to like wedge my legs up underneath me to like get a tighter grasp even.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're pulling it just straight across its throat, constricting a lot of its airflow, and it is having a hard time. I'd say with that 18, it's going to have disadvantage to escape you next round for sure.
Okay.
So.
Anyways, I can deprive them of oxygen.
Yep. That's a pretty good loophole, I think. So that's everybody?
Yep.
Okay. That brings us back to the top, Laverra.
Alright.
What do you want to do? Actually, Magnus, go ahead and roll a d10 of damage.
You don't have to.
No. You're depriving it of oxygen.
4.
Okay.
Yeah, eventually, like, there has to be, like, some brain damage after a
Yeah.
certain point, so...
Something's got to give.
I am going to cast Infestation
Gross.
on the were-tiger.
Okay. Yeah, they're ganging up on him for sure.
Yeah. And that
Magnus seems to have the boar under control.
Fair enough.
he has to make a Constitution saving throw.
That is a 12.
That does not save.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage on that.
That's 7 damage.
7 damage.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, you can see essentially a swarm of bugs and fleas begin to bite at this creature's form, infesting all of it. And you can see he's just shaking, poisoned. He's looking pretty rough right now, actually.
Nice.
Anything else?
I'm gonna cast message again to Magnus and ask him if he has everything under control.
I mean, he's right there.
Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna ask him then.
Plan.
Cool, okay?
I mean, it is always cool to have your messages just eerily appear in people's brains. Like, that's cool.
I mean, I guess, like, if you could hurry up, like, great.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Alright, that's going to bring us to the were creatures. The tiger is afraid of Freya and is going to attempt to back away. Everyone in melee will get an attack of opportunity on the were tiger. Are you in melee on the were tiger?
No.
Okay. So I think that's just Freya and Saxifrage, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. And
Wait,
make your-
am I not in melee?
Oh no, yeah, you are. You went around too. Yep. So you 3 then.
I was gonna say, I actually rolled good. Don't take this.
20.
That'll be
You
a
got a natural
16.
Yep.
16. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
15 hits.
15 does hit.
Okay, cool.
Is your weapon
7?
magic
It is,
or silvered? Either.
yeah, it is my magical staff of the woodlands.
Okay.
So,
it's triple damage, so do I just roll it?
wait.
Yeah, roll and then triple it. If
Okay.
that's what the card says.
It just says triple damage.
Okay.
10 damage from me.
10 damage from that. Alright. Mialee, what was yours?
7 damage.
7 damage, okay. Let's see if we can end this with Freya's.
So I rolled 15, so times it by 3 would be 45.
Yep. Alright, how do you want to do this? As this weird tiger looks at you in fear and attempts to back away, giving an opening for all 3 of you to swing at it. Yeah, how do you 3 want to end this tiger?
Always go for the head, so I swing to the side.
I swing from the other side.
Alright.
And I'll swing from the third side.
At the head? Everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
we're going on
I
the
mean,
sides. You
I'm
can
gonna
let
aim at the
tap.
body.
Okay. So yeah, as your blows connect almost simultaneously, you guys hear just a series of sickening cracks as the bones underneath the fur and flesh give way to all 3 of your bludgeoning attacks. Just crack, crack, crack. And you see the form immediately crumple to the floor, its eyes kind of rolling back into its head and blood pouring out of all 3 wounds. He seems taken care of.
I like those cards. Those are fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Game Master's Toolbox. They're a lot of fun.
They are.
Um,
Also, they are not sponsors at this time, but maybe one day.
They could be.
Huh?
Go ahead and send us an email.
Yeah. What's that email?
Bardtimestories@gmail.com for any of your promotional needs. The werewolf is going to attempt to wriggle away from you, Magnus, again at disadvantage. I'm going to go ahead and say he didn't do it because that's a 4, but go ahead and roll just to make sure.
Ooh, that's a nat 1.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
But
What's
I
the
also have a
modifier?
+4, so it's a 5.
Well, there we go. Yeah, you barely beat him. You've still got him. That was probably the closest that this werewolf got to escaping. But now you can see as you're wrestling him, he's got fear in his eyes as he was looking at what remains of his friend there to the side. Danaka is going to, kind of in her frenzy, I'm going to see if she wants to take another swing at the boar and Magnus again, or if she just wants to rush down into the cavern. Alright, yeah, you see Danaka kind of hunch down on all 4s and rush down into the cavern. You lose sight of her pretty quickly. Everyone else, what do you want to do? You've still got the werewolf there. I'm going to say you can all go at the same time if you want to try and take it out or what you want to do.
Yeah,
I want
let's-
to whack it with the staff.
Okay. Everyone hitting it will have advantage because Magnus has it restrained.
Nice.
So,
Ooh, nat 20.
Sorry, can you say that again? You cut out.
if you're attacking the werewolf, you will have advantage because Magnus has it restrained.
I got a nat 20, so that's
Awesome.
awesome.
I'm gonna cast Infestation again on the werewolf.
Okay. Yeah, so that one's on its end, right?
Yeah, that's a con save.
It's a 14.
That matches.
That would have been a 16. So yeah, that's a save.
Yeah, that saves. Yeah.
Any damage on a success, or is it just failure?
It's just failure.
Okay. That's a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are usually all or nothing.
I got a 15 with my mace. Does that hit?
Yeah.
Alright, I rolled twice.
Okay.
I hit both times, and I did 20 damage altogether.
20 damage altogether? Okay.
Is it dead yet?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I did 7 damage. Is it dead now?
Nope.
So I have a question, point of order on this. It says double damage.
Okay.
So does that automatically just my max damage? Or?
No, you roll your die
Okay.
and double it.
Cool. So that's going to be 12 damage. No, that's 16 damage, sorry.
Okay.
And then the target must make a DC 12 Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the target is knocked unconscious.
Okay. It is definitely knocked unconscious. I would have given a disadvantage on that like crazy because Magnus has it. But yeah, between that and now Magnus doesn't even need to make a strength check to make sure this creature is not fully unconscious. So I'll say that brings us out of initiative. Danaka is somewhere within the Skull Cavern, but you have a dead were-tiger up top and an unconscious at the moment were-boar.
We should finish off the bad one.
That feels less ideal,
Why?
but I don't know.
It's gonna kill people if we let it live, or it might come attack us when we least expect it.
Danaka, we're trying to help Danaka. It could be if we kill the sire, like the Pursuit of the Hawk said, he won't be a were-boar anymore.
Well, we
But
can
he's-
at least chain it up.
I don't think we have
Still
time.
evil.
He might not be, though.
He attacked us. I mean, I know that he's a werewolf, but
Danaka also attacked us. I am just saying. That's not a great metric if we're helping Danaka. I think I just go into the cavern to...
Okay.
If you want to... Saxifrage is like, if you want to kill him, go for it, but I'm going after Danaka.
also I'm 13. Do anybody have skills?
So what are the rest of you guys doing? Magnus especially, do you let loose?
No.
You're gonna keep it?
Yep. I'm gonna kill him.
Okay.
Good Magnus.
Make a strength check just to make sure you can end it quickly. Trying to snap its neck, basically.
Cool. Just been getting weaker and weaker. 7.
Alright.
To be fair, I have been holding a wereboar's neck for several rounds of combat.
True. True. And it's unconscious. I would give you advantage on it. Long story short, it takes a little bit, but you were able to just crank back and snap the boar's neck.
Okay.
Hey, Mialee. Do you have any heals?
I have some. Do you need some?
Yeah, I'm kind of hurting quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself while we're doing this.
You also have your lay on hands, too.
True.
Oh, nice.
I will cast Cure Wounds upon Frick
Okay.
at first level.
Alright. Saxifrage, once you kind of inside the skull cavern, you can see the darkness extends down, far into the
Freya,
earth.
you get 11 healing.
Cool. I'm gonna...
Sweet.
Even... Saxifrage was frustrated, but they are going to wait for the rest of the party.
Bless your heart, Mialee.
You're welcome.
I assume most of you guys have dark vision.
Yeah.
It's worth checking to be sure as you enter this skull cavern.
Now, would that be under racial traits?
I'm not exactly sure where it is.
Yeah, because I'm...
It's usually under like senses. So like wherever your passive perception's listed.
Yeah, racial traits.
I actually don't think I do.
I don't have dark vision.
I also don't have dark
Cool.
vision.
I think Freya does as a tiefling,
Yep.
and Magnus, I'm not sure about Mousefolk.
I'm not sure either.
It would make sense if they would, but...
If not, I have a torch.
I can also cast Light, which is a cantrip.
That might be easier than a torch.
Okay, so I just need an object.
It could be literally anything. It could be your
my
own
staff.
weapon or
It
something.
could be your hat.
Okay, so I'm gonna tap Saxifrage's staff, and the object sheds bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet, and it's going to have a slightly pink tinge to it.
So this pale pink light begins to bathe the interior of this cavern,
Yeah, I do have it, by the way, because I have the robe revised.
Oh, there you go.
So I can see 120 feet.
There you go. So, this low-light cavern begins to be kind of flooded with this pale pink light as you make your way through. Short of the occasional bear track, you have lost complete track of where Danaka has ran off to. There doesn't seem to be any offshoots of this cavern that lead to anything more interesting than just some alcoves where it looks like some of the creatures have slept.
I would like to find Danaka with locate animals or plants.
Okay, you're going to cast that?
Yep.
Alright.
Now you're looking for were animals.
Yeah, and now you know her exactly.
Yeah. I'm looking for a werebear specifically.
And that's like 500 miles or something?
Just 5 miles.
Oh, 5 miles, okay.
Still, I think it's good enough for our
Yeah, no,
purposes.
she's not 5 miles into the earth. You know exactly where she is. She's further down.
Okay.
Yeah, this cavern doesn't seem to have very many offshoots or anything like that. But even so, making a beeline to where you sense her presence, you come across one stretch of the cavern, kind of dotted with these rusted iron metal bear traps along the floor. But with the light and some guidance, everyone is able to make it through without any issue.
Why are there bear traps in a were animal cave? It seems like a bad idea.
Rounding a corner,
Like for the were animals.
you come upon a large circular room in the cavern, somewhere around 60 feet in diameter and 30 feet tall. In the center of this room is a pile of bones, still wet and red with blood. And atop it you see the large form of a Goliath woman, currently clad in a stitched-together outfit of furs, pelts, and bone. Her ash-gray skin and bald head are all but covered in dried blood, obscuring her black tattoos that cover most of her body. At her side are 2 large wolves, and you can see her staring down the great white bear that is Danaka at the base of these bones.
Point of order. Is she taller than Mialee?
She is.
Holy shit!
She's around 8 feet tall. It's hard to gauge it perfectly from this distance, since she's kind of atop this mound of bone.
Has she noticed us?
You see her eyes dart to the doorway.
We're also holding like a
second.
very bright glowing stick, so.
Freya!
What?
Throw me at her. Throw me at her neck. Freya, throw me at her neck.
Without any hesitation, I grab her and toss him.
And with that, we're going to call it the end of the episode
Oh
today.
man.
Typical.
That is a great cliffhanger.
Yeah, it sure is.
Does anyone have any announcements they would like to make before we stop recording today?
Let's see, what are our announcements? Thank you for listening to Bard Time Stories. Make sure to hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, eventually. Hit us up on Podbean, Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio eventually.
I mean, by the time this episode airs, we should be on everything. Because this is going to be like episode something.
We hope.
Episode 1 launches tomorrow, which this is way too late of an announcement, and this won't make any sense, but...
But we're all very excited.
Yeah.
We are like our past selves, that versions that you're listening to right now. Super
Yes. If you've got any fan art suggestions or just want to talk about the show or the world that we're playing in, go ahead and hit us up on Twitter. If you want to find me, the Dungeon Master, I'm on Twitter as well at PossumGamer. You can find our wonderful artist Coco on DeviantArt.
That's my username on DeviantArt is Coco the Devi.
He's got some great art. He did the art for us, and it's lovely.
Sorry to getting
It's-
compliments.
Oh,
It's so good. I show pictures of the whole party to people and be like, these are my children. Like, some people have pictures of their actual children. Babies are great, but there's no babies or pets in my life right now, so these are my kids.
They haven't died yet, which is interesting.
Also, always a good thing for children and pets.
Well, yeah.
Not die yet. My piece of advice for showing others you care about them. Just text somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, or especially somebody that you've had some fun conversations with in the past. Maybe it's an old friend, that you just kind of lost touch and just be like, hey, hope you're doing all right.
That's true. You can start a thing. I text my dad every day, actually, and he texts me whatever national holiday it is here. It's a really wonderful thing.
That is a good thing. Yeah, but it's easy to lose touch with people, and life gets busy, but most of the time, people really do just want to hear from you. They're necessarily going to be like, man, you're such a jerk for not talking to me sooner, because they also probably feel awkward that they haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah.
The self-care advice for today is go to sleep at a reasonable time.
No.
Don't tell me what to do.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. But so true.
Yeah. It's definitely a thing worth looking out for.
It's definitely hard, especially if you're used to staying up at like 12, 11 o'clock at night. But after a while, after you're used to going to bed earlier, you just want to go to bed earlier.
Got it. You got to have a regular sleep schedule before pretty much anything else can work.
Also, follow our Tumblr.
Oh, yeah.
What's the Tumblr?
It's bardtime-stories.
Okay.
Nice.
Good to know. Does anyone else have anything?
Slugs have 4 noses.
What?